Ooh, ever hear something that just stops you cold, like you ain't even sure what to say? Your chest tightens up, your eyes burn a little, and for a minute you just sit there trying to breathe. That's what happened to me, man. I was sitting down one night just scrolling, watching a clip somebody sent me. Says, Steve, you got to hear this. I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was just another religious video, another sermon, another lecture, you know. But then this man starts talking, and the whole world around me went quiet. He was telling a story about a mother who lost her child, a Muslim woman, and the way she faced that loss. Lord have mercy, I ain't never heard anything like it, he said. She came into the mosque after the funeral, and people expected her to be broken, expected her to collapse. But she sat down real calm, and when they asked her how she was so strong, she said, I gave my child to the one who created him. He only loaned him to me for a while. Man, when she said that, I felt something shift inside. See, I've lost people too. I've stood at graves. I've held hands with folks crying so hard they couldn't even talk, but I never heard peace in the middle of pain like that. That woman, she wasn't numb, she wasn't cold, she was at peace, and that peace came from her faith. That's when I realized death in Islam ain't seen the same way we see it. It ain't just the end. It's a return, a reunion with the one who made you. And I'll be real with you, that hit me different, 'cause all my life I've been running from death, trying not to think about it like most of us do. We hide behind work, behind jokes, behind money because we're scared of the silence that comes after. But Islam looks at it with dignity, with trust, with a kind of surrender that don't feel weak. It feels wise. I kept listening, and this man says something else. He said, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, who alayhi wasallam, once stood by a grave and wept. He cried so much his beard got wet. And then he said to his companions, my brothers, it is for this that I weep for what comes after this. And I thought that right there, that's compassion. That's leadership. He didn't hide his tears. He didn't say be strong. He said remember. He was reminding them this life ain't forever. So live it with purpose. I paused the video. I couldn't move. My wife came in and said, baby, you okay? And I said, nah, I just heard something. It shook me. I had tears in my eyes, man. Not because it was sad, but because it was true. Death is the one thing that connects every soul walking this earth. Black, white, Christian, Muslim, it don't matter. We all going to meet it. But the way this faith, Islam, faces it, it's not fear. It's acceptance. It's like saying, I'm going back home. That's what really tore me up inside. That woman's words, I gave my child back to the one who created him. That ain't despair. That's devotion. And in that moment, I realized there's a kind of strength and surrender. A kind of peace that only comes when you know who's really in charge. And I'll be honest, that night, I started digging deeper. I wanted to understand. I wanted to know what gives people that kind of calm in the middle of heartbreak. And that's when I fell down the rabbit hole and discovered what Islam really says about death, about life, and about what comes next. And let me tell you what I found. It changed me forever. You know, after that night, I couldn't shake it off. That story, that woman's piece, it followed me around like an echo. So I started watching more, reading more, and man, let me tell you something. The way Islam talks about death, it ain't like nothing I ever heard before. See, in this world we run from death. We fight it, deny it, hide from it. We buy wrinkle cream, gym memberships, vitamins, trying to tell God, hold on, I ain't ready yet. But in Islam, death ain't no stranger. It's part of the plan. It's not an interruption of life. It's the completion of it. Now, listen to this. In the Quran it says, every soul shall taste death, not face death. Taste it. And I thought, man, that's powerful. Because when you taste something, it ain't permanent. It passes. It's an experience. That means death ain't the end. It's a doorway, a moment of transition, and that changed my whole perspective. See, I used to think death means it's over. You're gone, people cry, life moves on. But Islam says now, this life is just the first act. This is your test run. What comes next, that's the real show. And that made me think about all the times I got caught up in the small stuff. Arguing over money, fame, pride, ego, forgetting that one day. None of that going to matter, because when that angel comes to take your soul, you can't say, hold up, let me finish this email. You got to go. And the only thing that goes with you is what you did, who you were, how you treated people, and that's what really moved me about Islam. See, Muslims, they don't just believe in the afterlife, they live like it's real, they pray like they gonna answer for every word. They give like they going to see it again in the next world, they forgive like they know God's watching. That's a powerful way to live, man. Because once you believe death ain't the end, you stop being afraid to be good. You stop being scared to let go. There's another thing that really hit me. In Islam, death don't mean punishment. It's not like you died, now God mad at you. No, it's just the call came, your time was up. And for those who live right, death is described as gentle, like a kind friend coming to take you home. They say the angel of death don't come to hurt the believer. He comes with peace, with words of comfort. Don't be afraid, don't be sad, you're going back to your Lord. Man, when I read that, I felt my eyes well up again. 'Cause that's not fear, that's faith. I started thinking about all the funerals I've been to. You ever notice how we treat them? We whisper, we cry, we feel hopeless, but Muslims, they pray calm, they pray united, they don't make it about why did God do this. They say to him, we belong and to him we return. Man, that's closure, that's acceptance. It's like saying, Lord, you gave this person to us and now you took them back and we trust you. You know how hard that is to say, that in pain, to mean it. That's a level of faith I don't think I'd ever seen before. And let me tell you something else. The Prophet Muhammad, he didn't just talk about the afterlife like a mystery. He described it. He painted it so vividly you could feel it. He said, the grave is the first stop of the hereafter. If it's good for you there, it's good for you later. If it's rough for you there, it's a warning sign. And that right there, that made me look at my own life. I thought, man, if I died tonight, would I be ready to face my grave? Would I be proud of the way I spoke to people, how I used my platform, how I treated folks when nobody was watching? And that's when it hit me. That woman who lost her child and still said, I gave him back to God. She wasn't strong because she didn't feel pain. She was strong because she understood death. She saw beyond it. She knew her child wasn't gone, just ahead waiting. And when you think about it like that, death don't seem so cruel anymore. It's just part of the return journey. That's what Islam does. It teaches you not just how to live, but how to leave. It prepares you to meet your Creator with a heart clean, a conscience calm, and a smile that says, I did my best. That's deep, man. That's real deep. And I'll tell you what, the more I learned, the more I cried, not because it was sad, but because it was beautiful. To know that even in death, there's mercy. Even in the grave, there's peace. Even when the body's gone, the soul still lives on, standing before the one who made it. That gave me comfort I didn't know I needed. That's when I started to realize maybe death ain't the scariest thing after all. Maybe living without purpose is, maybe dying without peace is, and maybe what Islam's really teaching isn't how to die, it's how to live. So that when the day comes, you ain't afraid to go home. You know, I went home that night, and I sat on my porch. No phone, no lights, no music, just me and the crickets. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't ask God why. I just said thank you, not because I had all the answers, but because I finally understood the question. See, when you've been through life, really been through it, you start realizing how fragile this whole thing is. You lose people, you watch dreams die, you see good folks suffering, bad ones get ahead, and you sit there thinking, Lord, what is the lesson here? And that's where Islam hit me different. It said every soul will taste death, but those who believe and do good, they got nothing to fear, nothing. That means death ain't punishment, it's graduation. It's moving from this temporary test room to the real home. And man, that's when the tears started rolling because I thought about my mama. I thought about Bernie Mac. I thought about people I loved who gone now, and I realized they didn't disappear. They just went ahead. They walk on a road I ain't reached yet, but one day, God willing, I will. And when that time comes, I want to go the way that Sister did, with peace, with faith, with trust that my Creator got me. I remember one line from a Muslim preacher. He said, "Death doesn't end your story. It begins your eternity." Man, when he said that, I had to pause the video because that right there, that's everything. You spend your whole life building up this image, this name, this success, but one breath, one, and it's all gone. And the only thing left is what you sent ahead. Your kindness, your prayers, your charity, your patience, all them things we think don't matter. That's the real currency in the afterlife. You know, Islam teaches that when you die, your deeds don't stop if you left behind good. Like if you taught somebody something that benefits them, if you gave charity that keeps helping people, if you raise children who pray for you after you gone. And I thought, man, that's a whole new meaning of legacy. It ain't just about your name on a billboard. It's about your name whispered in someone's prayer, and that had me looking at my life different. All this, the shows, the laughs, the fame, it's beautiful, but it's borrowed. I used to think the goal was to live big. Now I think the goal is to leave clean, 'cause when that angel shows up, he don't care how many followers you had. He don't care how nice your car was. He going to ask, did you fulfill your purpose? Did you remember who sent you? And if you can say yes, that's peace. You know, what really shook me though, there's a hadith, a saying of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, who alayhi wa salam, said, remember often the destroyer of pleasures, death. Now, at first I thought, man, that's heavy, but then it clicked. He ain't say that to make you sad. He said that to make you grateful, because when you remember death, you start valuing life. You hold your wife tighter, you call your kids back, you forgive that person you've been mad at for 10 years. You say, I love you without waiting for the right time. You start living on purpose, not autopilot. And that's what Islam did to me. It made me aware again, aware of time, aware of mercy, aware of how fragile, how precious, how temporary this life really is. I stopped praying for success and started praying for peace, because success without peace is torture. But peace, that's the real gift. You know, I used to joke that I'm scared of death. Now I realize I ain't scared of dying. I'm scared of dying without living right, without loving people, without forgiving, without thanking the one who gave me this life in the first place. And man, that story, that woman who lost her baby and still said, Alhamdulillah, that ain't weakness. That's the strongest kind of faith there is. Faith that says, God, I don't understand you right now, but I still trust you. And if you can do that in the darkest hour, you've already won. So, yeah, Steve Harvey cried that night. Not because the story was sad, because it reminded me what faith really looks like. It ain't fancy. It ain't loud. It ain't about preaching it. It's about living it quietly, humbly, with the certainty that one day you'll stand before the one who loved you first. And when that day comes, I don't want to be afraid. I want to be ready, ready to say, Lord, I stumbled. I messed up. But I never stopped trying. I never stopped believing, and I never stopped thanking you. If I can say that, then death ain't a tragedy. It's a homecoming. That's what Islam taught me about death. That it ain't about losing, it's about returning. And for the first time in my life, that thought don't scare me anymore. It comforts me, because now I understand maybe peace don't come from avoiding death. Maybe peace come from finally understanding what it really means.